This is like my ninth attempt making a video. Um, I had already made connections before the class. I wanted to learn more about Mexican artists in the 20th century. I knew of some of the poets. I knew very well, somewhat well, vaguely well, about Frida Kahlo's work and Diego Rivera. I had fallen in love with Chavela Vargas. She's a singer. I think she's dead. I don't know. I think she's alive. But her work was really impactful to me. I had made a connection between that time and those artists, and the philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, um, in that they both shared something of living in human grit, um, living with a kind of life affirmation that is dynamic and amoral and sexual, and it doesn't see, like, if you were to see the prophet, the divine, the great divine, it's not going to be shiny, it's not going to be clean. It's going to be something else, another form of beauty. um and so going through unit 2 of the Mexican muralists, I found a lot more um parallels between Friedrich Nietzsche and Mexico. I don't know if I have time to go over it, but those were the connections I've made, especially in the way they talk about race. Nietzsche talked a lot about race and the way, racial mixing, cross, how would you say, race mixing, how that ends up creating geniuses because they end up carrying so much of the different approaches that all the races have in their culture. And it's funny to see that, to find that in, La Raza Cósmica by Vasconcelos, um, that they think just like that. And you even find it in Diego Rivera's work where he's trying to, crossbreed, and show that the Mexicans also have this potential to be a central city for art. Um, Pause here. And it's in a lot of the enthusiasm that you see. uh, I think it's best worded in David Siqueiros' manifestos, where he has so much excitement for this new age that they're dawning on, where they get to be, amoral. They get to be free. They get to be dynamic, and I don't know what they know of. Nietzsche had foreseen in the New Age that, culturally God had died, and this is exciting because we get to, like, discover new ways, to be human, to be loved, to be aesthetic, to be beautiful, um, to be artistic, and to live fruitfully. We can discover new ways. How do we do that? Of course, is, Nietzsche tells us, go do it. You're the future people, and it's almost as if they're trying to be the future people, to bring out this new age, to bring it out. Um, let's pause. And so the way I'd identify a lot of this art, especially Jose Clemente Orozco, his frescoes, they're so tragedian. They look at Christ, um, the rich, and the glory. It looks at all these things that are painted in such clean light. He paints them in grit. He paints them with dark color tones. A lot of the men that don't have shirt, they're like, their ribs are just, they're rails. Um, it's incredibly beautiful the way he paints them. I think he's a great example of a tragedian artist. Um, so now those were the connections I had made. And if there was an artist whose artwork I wanted to go more deeply in, and I am going to, it would be Orozco. I want to go see his work. The ideas that I found, what ideas, how do I grapple with these, especially were, one was the perspectives of race, because at some point you have to recognize these are very old ideas. So how how much truth do they hold, knowing what we know? Are spirits and tastes and preferences and skills, are they inheritable, and is that really determined by race? um I don't know how old, like, I don't know how much we've, like, just kind of tossed that away and said, well, that's just old race science. But I don't know. That I'd like to adventure that more. But another, I'm going to take the extra minute here. The other idea, the other concepts that I've really, um, that I've enjoyed going through, was the vision that Vasconcelos had, believing that visual art could affect a people and, like, catapult them into a new dynamic age. And is that the case? I would like to be surrounded by this art every day. Would it change me? I don't know, but I know what did change me was music. Music is far more alive, and it's so much easier to digest. Its meaning. I mean, they're not, like, paintings are taken so much more seriously than music. I think, I don't know. But we look at paintings as if they are essays of their own. But I do think music has that potential as well. I don't know if I mentioned it in this video, because I've made 10 videos so far, but Chavela Vargas, her music is so impactful, and it has so much to give and to say. Um, okay, I should end it here. I guess I could end it with these last 30 seconds and saying, what have I learned? I've learned that before having taken this class, I thought, well, it could be a lot more simpler to study, but I know it's incredibly complicated. That's what I've learned, is that there's a much more to dig through and to figure out, and to unpack. So I think that'll be it. Thank you.